Righto, Telio de champs, and yes, we're going to be comparing the two best gaming monitors, well, that are going to be for the next 6 to 12 months, whatever. Now make sure you subscribe because I will be comparing these monitors. I can't wait to get this one in, this 240Hz LG, until a better one comes out. But the two best gaming monitors you can get, we're talking about the LG 240Hz OLED monitor, and of course, the current best gaming monitor you can get, the Alienware 34-inch QD-OLED monitor, which is the one I have here. And you're going to actually see some gameplay on this monitor here. I've got a lot of reviews on this monitor. Vincent said it was the best gaming monitor out there, so you can believe him if you don't believe me, but it is the best gaming monitor. But will this LG one be better? And the reason I'm showing you some, gameplay on this monitor is you've got to be careful. 240Hz sounds like it's better, right? And of course, the higher refresh rate is always better, but there are different OLED technologies here, and there are differences between these displays, but you also got to be able to drive these displays. As you can see here, in Warzone here, I have a RTX 4090, yes, the tough version. That is one of the top G of RTX 4090s, but I also have a 13900K, and you can see here with Warzone, using this Alienware QD OLED monitor, I can't even achieve a constant 240 frames per second. There's no chance, right? So this will be important later when we talk about refresh rates and which one's right for you. But if we just have a look at the specs of the two. And I also want to mention, firstly, this one here. LG have a 45-inch OLED monitor too, that is 240Hz, and this one's very expensive, $1,700, so about $3,000 Australian. This thing's a bit more of a commitment. I don't think many people will be buying this, and comparing this to the Alienware QD OLED, they're not really comparing sort of products. They don't compete in the same sort of segment there. But if you want the truly best immersive feeling, 45-inch 240Hz OLED Wolf, that is the way to fly. But if we're just comparing these, the 27-inch LG OLED monitor versus the Alienware 34-inch QD OLED monitor, let's have a look at the differences. Now, if you have bought the QD OLED Alienware monitor, well, Wolf, you got one of the best gaming monitors, if not the best gaming monitor out there, right? It's not an upgrade to go to this monitor, this LG monitor on the left. Sideways, maybe. In some ways it is an upgrade, in some ways it is a downgrade. So let's discuss that. Okay, so one is 27-inch, one is 34-inch. The Alienware on the right is a widescreen and it's a higher resolution, right? So that's one thing it's got going for it. It's widescreen, high resolution. And it has a curve. The LG is a flat panel, no curve, 27 inches, so smaller and less resolution, obviously, because it's 16:9. Now, one thing to note is eSport monitors are usually 24-inch sort of monitors, 240, 300, 360Hz monitors at 1080p. The Alienware is probably never going to be an eSports monitor, just being a widescreen and just aspect ratio and resolution. Probably not. This has the potential to be an esports monitor, and hopefully in the future they're going to stop using those 1080p panels, 25-inch monitors, and they'll start using stuff like this, 27 inches, 240Hz. Hopefully that's the way esports go. So I guess if you're looking for an esports sort of monitor, this LG is probably the best bet there. Whether you like flat or curved, you got to pick your poison there. I would have hoped that it was 32 inches, but the reality is I think they're going for that sort of esports market. So 27 inches is probably where we're going to go. I definitely do not think esports are going to be using 32-inch monitors or even 34 with the Alienware. It's just not going to happen. Now, in terms of color gamut, well, pretty much the same. We don't know how bright the LG is on the left. Now, we know that the Alienware QD OLED does 1000 nits of peak brightness. It is so good, believe me. Now, the thing is, one is WOLED, the LG on the left is WOLED, and one is QD OLED, which is the Alienware, the one on the right. Now, I don't want to get too esoteric about this, but basically, to get brightness with the WOLEDs, they need a white pixel. So the LG uses WOLED white pixel, and what that does is it introduces bloomings on, bright areas, like white text will have some sort of blooming. Now, QD OLED is a more newer technology with the Alienware on the right. Still, if you look at fine text on QD OLED, you'll notice some sort of red artifact on the text on super fine text if you look up really close. I don't really notice it that much, but I guess they both have cons in that regard. But the big deal about QD OLED on the Alienware is, one, it reaches that 1000 nits of peak brightness. We don't know how much the LG reaches. Something makes me think it doesn't do 1000 nits because they haven't stated it. Smaller panels of WOLEDs, like this 27-inch that's on the LG, they're usually not as bright as the big WOLED. So the bigger they are, the brighter they get. So typically with WOLED, they are not as bright at the smaller screen sizes. So I'm not sure it will reach 1000 nits peak brightness. We'll have to wait and see. But also with a white pixel with the LG, when you have bright areas, it also washes out the colors. The white pixel washes out the colors. So the colors aren't intense at, high bright scenes. That's where QD OLED is superior. QD OLED retains its saturation and intensity of the color when the screen gets bright. So that's the superior technology in that regard. Now in terms of response time, the Alienware is literally 3 times faster. No, I mean, yes, all right, it is literally 0.03 milliseconds versus 0.01 on the Alienware. But the reality is those sort of response times, it's pretty much exactly the same like it is to the human eye, instantaneous pixel response. But to make up for being 3 times slower, I guess, I mean, joking. It is 240 Hz versus 175 Hz on the Alienware, right? So more Hertz plus fast response time will yield a sharper moving image with the LG on the left there. If you are pushing 240 frames per second, I mean, if your game's only 160 frames per second, it's no difference, right? The Alienware is going to look pretty much the same. Also, they're both 10-bit panels, but with the LG, I wonder at the higher refresh rates if it maintains 10-bit, because the Alienware at 144 Hz is 10-bit. You go over 144 Hz, it goes to an 8-bit dithering. Be interested to see what happens with this LG. But talking about response and refresh rate, the QD OLED on the Alienware, everything is super sharp. You're never going to complain. Maybe if you put them side by side, you'll be able to tell the difference. But other than that, you won't be able to tell the difference. Like, everything is super sharp at 175 Hz. Instant response of the QD OLED. Gaming doesn't get better. And of course, with 1000 nits and not losing any of that color, saturation at brighter areas, I cannot praise that QD OLED monitor on the Alienware enough. But if you do play games that you can maintain 240 Hz, and I guess these are more esports, more competitive stuff, the LG is the go there. Also, the Alienware has G-Sync Ultimate, and with the LG, it only says G-Sync compatible. So, it's not G-Sync Ultimate. Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, probably the same. It's certainly not verified as G-Sync Ultimate. At the end of the day, they've both got pros and cons. You got the 240 Hz with the LG, with the Alienware, faster response time, G-Sync Ultimate, and being QD OLED, probably brighter. Of course, we don't know yet. But one thing is for sure, when things get bright, it will still maintain its, color saturation. So pick your poison here. Which one would you choose out of these two? I suspect if you're more esports, you're going for the LG. And if you're more like a, home gamer, want more of a immersive experience, a bit bigger monitor, whatever, maybe you go the Alienware there. But I mean, man, hard choice, right? Isn't it? It's super hard. Anyway, catch you in the next one, guys. Tally ho.